Takes me away where I'm always dream with every turn will be free. Fantasy making space of me when I'm standing. All caught up in the rhythm. Every word is a symphony. You believe me. We're gonna get started. Relax. Sailing away. Just a dream the wind carries. Soon I will be free. Whoa, okay, so well, T-Street Controversy Live, 143.6. I'm pissed off is because this fake-ass nutritionist, this avocado and toast with jam in his mama's basement next to the water heater shooting HBO 24/7, this motherfucker, he could not make weight. So people are saying, why are you so mad? He made the weight 143.6. It's not about that. It's like you're the fucking 140-pound champion of the world, and you can't make 144 pounds the first time? Doesn't make sense to me. I'm T-Street Controversies. It's T-Street Controversy Live, and I cover boxing. So the issue of the night, and it may have sold some more tickets. It may have got a little bit more pay-per-view buys, but Chris Algieri, the first attempt, he did not make weight. The second attempt, he still didn't make weight by 2 attempts. And guess what? He had this nutritionist, this master nutritionist had to get butt naked and still did not make weight. Right now, November the 21st, 2014, of course, I'm T-Street Controversy, real combat media, and I cover boxing. So what's going to happen is within the next 15, 20 minutes or so, maybe less, there's going to be a flood of people in here. We're going to start talking shit about boxing, and we're going to have a good night. So this is one of those situations where if you ain't doing shit, go get you a beer, relax. You don't even got to look, just listen. So shit's going to get popping. And I'm going to say this. We're going to listen to a little bit more music. And wait. Let me calm down. See, honestly, I got to be honest with you. I feel like I know Chris Algieri personally. And I don't know why, but it's like, I feel like, yo, like, you're supposed to be a doctor, my dude. Like, put it this way. Would you vouch? How can you vouch for Chris Algieri? Would you tell somebody, oh, yeah, hi, Chris Algieri. You know, he'll get you to make weight. You might miss it the first time, but he'll get you to make weight. I'm like, how does, and it's like, he's supposed to be in school. And I said on my Facebook, it's like, maybe he's over there enjoying that authentic Macau Chinese cuisine. Maybe, maybe it's the jet lag. I don't know. People are saying he's juicing. I'm not saying he's juicing, but people are saying he doesn't seem like the type of guy to juice. But now the fact that he doesn't make weight, yesterday, I wasn't thinking that. The last thing I thought is that Chris Algieri wouldn't make weight. Did you think for any reason, any way, shape, or form that Chris Algieri wasn't going to make weight? And all of a sudden, this motherfucker don't make weight. So it's like, how do I know now? Like, you're not juicing. He's all muscular, and the thing is, he wasn't dry. He didn't look sick, no nothing. So that's making me question it. And you got Pacquiao getting interviews with Freddie Roach and he like, it's like, why did you lose the weight? Hungerness. What the fuck is going on? But listen. I'm going to invite some people, so everybody relax. I'm going to put on some smooth grooving tunes, and then we're going to talk about some boxing. You know, this has got to be crazy. For one, the weigh-in, where's everybody at? For one, the weigh-in is usually shown on HBO. Now, Floyd Mayweather weigh-ins, they're always packed and they're shown on Showtime. This one's not packed. You can understand because it's in Macau. It's a tourist attraction, basically. You know, that's like when you go to Atlantic City and, you know, somebody like Kenny G playing. It's like, oh, it's a tourist attraction. Let's go check him out. It's not really hardcore boxing fans there. So what the fuck? See, this is why I never have my ring girl. That's why I can't do it. I can't do it. You know, and y'all, by this time, y'all already know. I probably done forgot what I was talking about. So, well, I got to keep that on. So what I'm saying is this. HBO is not playing any games with what they're broadcasting. They want to make sure that they're getting a return on all of their investments. Maybe they just got the word that Floyd Mayweather and Showtime, well, Showtime is not gaining a profit off of Floyd Mayweather or whatever the case may be with that. But it was actually on ESPN and TopRank.com. Now, that actually means something. Now, supposedly, Pacquiao's supposed to be making around $26 million. Even if it's not $26 million, okay, he's making over $20 million. So you have to think, Bob Arum, Top Rank, of course, got to get their cut. You know, he's got a manager, and then HBO wants to make sure they ensure, you know, profit. And to get a guy like Karceno Arum on pay-per-view and keep Manny Pacquiao pay-per-view status, you know, you got to make some cuts. And the fact that Karceno Arum is still with his parents and taking out the trash and eating all the avocados, and avocados this time of year are hard to come by. So he's eating all the avocados, and it's like you still can't make weight. You know, they can't be doing HBO 24/7 with that shit. I'm trying to calm down because I look at it like this. I feel duped. And maybe that's because I involve myself in boxing a little too much to the point where I'm thinking to myself, like, this guy's a fraud. And people are trying to make excuses to say, well, he made the weight. No, he's the 140-pound champion of the world, 40-pound champion of the world. He's at 143.6. He couldn't weigh at 144. His first attempt was 144.4. Then 144, you know, he took his underwear off and he just exhaled that breath like that shit was kind of sitting there and I'm looking like, what is this shit? Because I'm thinking like, the problem I have is, once again, is like, of all people, Karceno Arum, go look at his Instagram. Go get your phone, go look at that motherfucking Instagram, go look at his food, and you'll think like, oh yeah, he's on the right track. Then you see him in his interviews, he's talking, well, he's not going to be able to get past the jab and, you know, the strength and the nutrition, and it's your body, your temple. And now just I want to be like, yo, shut the fuck up. So when it comes to his 140-pound title, now it's crazy because from what I'm understanding, Bob Arum, Joe DeGuardi, and his guys were trying to make some moves so he can hold on to his 140-pound title and fight for the 147. So if he loses to Pacquiao, he still get to hold on to that title. But remember, Demetrius Andrade was in a similar situation where he wanted to fight Korobov and he wanted to get that Rock Nation money. But either way, if he was going to fight Korobov, he wanted to still be able to keep his 154 title and get that 160 title. So with Karceno Arum, they was trying to work something out, like basically, all right, we know you're going to get your ass beat. So we want to make sure, you know, that you're still able to be champion so we can market you somewhere else. And now he's in a situation where he can still compete for this title, but at the same time, if you're saying that it's a strategy, it's a technique, that he missed weight the first time or he's trying to pack on that extra muscle, maybe because he doesn't care about the belt, he just wants to get the win over Pacquiao, which means more than the belt, I understand that. But at the same time, as far as your reputation and your life is concerned outside of boxing, Mr. Strength and Conditioning, you want to make weight on your first pay-per-view. So I'm not trying to hear none of that bullshit where people are talking, you know, like, well, you know, it's the strategy because, you know, he's got the juices and he put on the extra 25 pounds of muscle or whatever the fuck. I don't know. You know, 25, obviously it's not 25. I wouldn't be surprised if he come into the ring at 160. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, you got Mimo Haradia running around in your camp secretly, you know, taking a picture, but all right, listen, you know. Long story short, let me see, where's everybody at? If you don't know how to join Google Hangout, first what you must do is you must subscribe. Then after you subscribe, what you do is you go check out fucking Google. Google how to use Google Hangout. Simple, easy work. Watch a YouTube video on how to use Google Hangout. Because I hate when I get all these inbox things on how to use Google Hangout when I'm on Google Hangout. And y'all see me on here trying to struggle and use the social media and keep going with a live show at the same time. I can't do it. I can't multitask. I can't do it. That's a little too much for me right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up to public. And since it's public, you'll be able to just, oh, somebody just popped up. Who is that with this black ass screen? Don't get booted.
What's up, man? It's just Aztec 101.
Yeah, I know you, man. You're cool. You're cool, bro. So, I guess, you know, we're going to get back to the Chris Algieri thing, you know, weight thing once people get here. So, I'm going to move on myself. And what I'm going to say is that, damn it, can't get it. What I'm going to say is that whatever Chris Algieri's plan is, whether it's to knock Manny Pacquiao out, or whether it's to now I'm saying knock him out for a reason, because with this muscle that he's packing on, and you know him not able to make, what the fuck, everybody's everywhere. This is crazy. Like with his you know, with this new muscle he's packing on, and you know we seen him in camp, we seen him in gym, so I'm expecting for him when we see him in the ring tomorrow night. Look for the definition and look for the muscle mass. Because that's making me think maybe he's going in there, he's trying to knock Pacquiao out. Like, what if he's going in there, what if he cracked Pacquiao and almost knocked him out of shoes like Timothy Bradley did? Of course, people going to run with the whole steroids thing. But see, that's just my opinion. That's why guys like Mimo Haradia, or he shouldn't be in boxing, if that makes sense. You know, and I'm only saying that because anybody who's seen with him or associated with him in the fans' eyes can never get a clear-cut significant win, because there's always going to be fans that say, well, he had him in his camp. You know, shit like that. So I think, you know, when it comes to people like that, especially the fact that he's banned in every major sport, he can't even go to cycling. He can't even, you know, cycling, can't go to cycling. Lance Armstrong fucked that up. But now you got people, and I'm just hearing about this a couple days ago. I'm thinking like, damn, Chris Algieri juicing? He wheezing the juice? You know, yo, how easy was it for you to get in here, man? Because these people sending me all these messages acting like they don't know how to fucking...
I just pressed a button and I got in.
Exactly. Just fucking people don't act like they don't know how to use technology.
It just says join call, and that's what happened.
Simple as that. Easy work. Anyway... Once again, I got to repeat some of these things over and over again until everybody gets in here. So, Chris Algieri, 143.6. He weighed in the first time at 144.4. The catch weight's 144. Then he stripped down, took his drawers off, got down to 144 and 2/10. Then sometime within the next hour, he got down to 143.6. Now, that's significant. You had to take the drawers off. All right. So, what did you go do? Did you go throw up, barf the avocado, because maybe he thought he was too cool? Maybe he thought he was too cool and was like, yeah, you know, he probably was in front of the media, and he probably was eating all healthy and everything. And that's like, Chris, you're eating on the day of the fight, I mean, the weigh-in, you're probably, you know, and I'm thinking he probably was trying to show off. He probably sitting there, you know, eating like everything cool, being a fraud, you know, and then look, he can't make weight. So he probably had to go to the back, throw up. He had to take his shit. He had to throw up and then probably sit in the sauna, get on the bike. They probably put the bike in the sauna, because usually when people make weight, you don't go from weighing 144.4 and then literally drop it almost close to a pound. It's like, where that pound come from? Where that 0.8? Where that come from? You know, it just don't make no sense. So that's why I'm thinking, and then looking at the definition, I'm thinking to myself, okay, you have to factor in the fact that this is the biggest fight of his life, so he's going to be training hard, but you have to also look at the fact that, well, it's that question of why was that guy in your camp? And now you're looking phenomenal. Like I said, he didn't look dry or anything up there. He looked like, you know, he could it looked like he could fight right then and there at that 144 and not rehydrate. Or that 143.6 and not rehydrate. You know, it just doesn't make sense. So now that has me questioning, okay, what is his intentions? Now we have to, of course, know that getting the win over Manny Pacquiao is more important. No, well, it means more than actually winning the title. Now, of course, beating Pacquiao and beating him for the title, obviously, that's what you want to do. But just to defeat Pacquiao at this stage in his career and end all hopes of Floyd Mayweather and possibly get a Floyd Mayweather fight, he probably like, well, the hell with that title, you know? So that's partly what I'm thinking. But I just don't, you know, I just don't see the logic behind him not making weight. You know, so people are trying to say, like literally, I've been looking all on social media, well, it's a tactic, it's a strategy. You know, I'm thinking to myself, like that's not, you know, like for his personal life. You know, like how can, you know, let's say if he get knocked out. And let's say he takes it so hard mentally that he never wants to box again. You know, somebody going to hire you, you know, like if you want to work in the boxing world, and it's like, yo, you didn't make weight. Now, granted, they'll probably still hire you, but still, it's like you're supposed to be this healthy guy, and you're the 140-pound champion. So that's the issue. Like, look at the core issue. He's the 140-pound champion, master nutritionist guy. You know, always in front of the microphone talking some old nutrition shit. And literally all avocados everywhere. I'm sick of avocados. And then you look, he can't make 144 to 140-pound champion of the world that can weigh in at 140 pounds to keep the title that he still has. That may weigh in that, well, what did he weigh in for Provo Nicole? That I covered that. I got to look that up. I believe it was like 139.7, something like that. And you can't weigh in 140. What is going on? And that makes me think, okay, all right, he put on that muscle. You know? He put on that muscle, you know, and he can't lose those waters. There's so, you know. And the fact that he didn't make weight, once again, I know I'm repeating the same thing, makes me think, okay, well, if you ain't make weight now, a lot of your credibility is out the window. You know, because now when I see you eating all that, you can't talk none of that healthy shit no more, and people listen. Ain't nobody care about that shit no more. He fucked that up. You know, people say, oh, it's not a big deal. Nah, man, that shit's a big deal. Fraud ass dude. Shit pisses me off. But anyway, I wonder if anybody else doing a hangout tonight. Tomorrow, I'm not even supposed to be. This is like past my bedtime. I usually be in the bed like 8:30 the last couple weeks. Real talk. I'll be up like 4 in the morning. You know, go walk the dog.
I'm up this late all the time.
Nah, man. I used to be, man. I used to be able to stay up for 24 hours. All that shit. I can't do it, man. I'm 31. I'm getting old. You know, my bones be hurt when it rain.
I feel it. Just turned 27.
But tomorrow, you know, I got a ride. Tomorrow gonna be a big ass day, boxing all day long. But I'm making catfish nuggets. Honestly, like seriously, I'm not even supposed to be on here. I'm frying my catfish nuggets. So what I'm gonna do is every now and then, I'm gonna go tend to my catfish nuggets. So right now I'm in the battering stage. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play some sweet tunes. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take like 2-minute breaks in between. And then while I'm doing that, I'm gonna be inviting people. God damn it. Why is it not playing? That's what I'm gonna be doing. So we can make sure we all on the same page. But now I look at the fight totally differently now because I was giving Chris Algieri some sort of chance of saying he was dangerous. Now I'm just looking at him like, okay, all right, well, you're not making weight, so that makes me think, well, how's your mobility going to be? You know, he's left so many questions now, you know, that need to be answered. You know, I mean, you know.
The best Algieri has to show up tomorrow in order to win.
We don't know what the best Algieri is. I don't know what the best Algieri is.
That's the thing. That's the biggest question.
Like, what's the best Algieri? I didn't know that was the best Algieri.
I mean, we just need to see we need to see the top of the line, and him not making weight. You know, it's just rising up questions on whether that's what we're going to see tomorrow. I mean, I remember when Brandon Rios was going to go up against Pacquiao, and he felt like he was at the best point of his career. He said he was feeling really athletic, and yeah, Pacquiao took him to school. So I don't know. To me, Algieri looks like a layup to me. Pacquiao can do that any day. So in order for Algieri to go in, maybe that extra weight might help him. He blows up a few extra pounds, doesn't get out muscled.
Yeah, it just looked bad.
See him getting his ass beat.
I look at him as being like, I was looking at him, you know, like he was just some type of fitness guru messiah, and he's nothing but a dickhead. You know, because it, like, I can see if the catch, I can see if it was if he was fighting at 140, like he's fighting at 144. So it's like,
yeah,
how can you like now sort of believe you can make that 140 again? We might as well just scratch him out of the 140-pound division. Like for the, if this is the biggest fight of your life, and you can't make 144 pounds, I'm thinking, okay, well, either you've been nervous, you know, you've been putting on this front, you know, and you've been nervous and you've been in Macau, you know, eating, you know, not fully focused, or you really can't make 140 pounds. And if you think about it, now this is a fact, he's only fought, if I'm correct, only 2 fights at 140 pounds. So if I'm correct, his fight with Ruslan was either his first or his second. Majority of his fights has been in like 142, you know, 141, all that type of stuff. So people say he's a smaller guy, not necessarily. You know, not, in fact, he's had more fights over 140 than Pacquiao has. So, you know, that's a little bit of trivia that people probably didn't know. But, oh yeah, I still got a nice hour and a half on here. Yeah, y'all gonna chill for a minute. Everybody relax. Let me go try to invite some people. Let me see him do this. See, I got so many filters on here. Listen, I'm just gonna rock out the show. So if you don't know how to get, if you don't know how to get here, you know, into my, excuse me. If you don't know how to get into like the Google Hangout, then you know that's on you. So once again, I'm gonna give you simple, easy instructions on how to get in the Google Hangout. Google how to get in the Google Hangout. Simple as that. So, once again, the topic is, of course, Chris Algieri doesn't make weight. I know I've been ranting a little bit, but so what? It's a big deal to me. Another thing I was surprised at is Pacquiao weighed in at 143.8. Is that I'm thinking Pacquiao was going to weigh in at about 141, 142, and looking at him today, and then looking at the photos of him throughout the week, he may have rehydrated just a bit. You know, I guess they didn't want him stepping on the scales too small, or whatever the case may be, but he's looked a lot bigger, and I'm talking about in high definition. You know, he looked a lot bigger, pause, than he did, you know, during the week, and this is the weigh-in. So, you know, I don't know. You know, now what we got to look at is we got to look at the unofficial weigh-in. Now, that's going to tell the tale, because the unofficial weigh-in, for them, the unofficial weigh-in is going to happen at something like 8 a.m., 7 a.m. or so. Now, over there, the fight's going to be starting at about 10 a.m., 11, 12 a.m. over in Macau, 12 p.m., to whereas in over here in the States, it's going to come on as it normally does. So if you're over on the West Coast, you know, about 8 p.m. or so, to whereas in over on the East Coast, you know, the fighters are going to be stepping into the ring at about 11:45 or so. So about 11:45 or so. So it's going to be interesting to see if Karceno Arum decides to step on the unofficial scale. You know, Pacquiao for his last several fights, I can't remember him not stepping on the unofficial scale. The most he's ever come into the ring as is 150. And he was coming into the ring at 148 when he was fighting at 130. You know, and look how long ago that was. So he's a naturally smaller guy, but for some reason, I'm thinking, okay, all right, Karceno Arum weighs in at 143.6, you know, after he's missed the weight 2 times. And I'm thinking he may rehydrate maybe 20. I'm saying 15 to 20 pounds. You know, so Karceno Arum can come into the ring at 160, 165. And if you look at him, like during his training a couple of weeks ago, you know, he's been walking around looking like he's about 160, 155. And take note that he's a fighter that's almost 6 feet tall. So a fighter that tall, you know, usually doesn't stay in those smaller divisions like that. You know, and he did an interview earlier this week when he was talking about, I think it was on the media call I was on. Well, basically, he was talking about he can fight, you know, at 140, 147, 154. Now, right now, I'm thinking, well, damn, is Karceno Arum really a 154-pounder? No, once again, if you're new, Karceno Arum has only fought about 2 fights at 140 pounds. People been saying he's a smaller fighter and everything like that. No. 140 is rather new to him. He's been fighting above 140. I'm not saying he's been fighting at 147 exact, but, you know, nowhere above one. If I'm correct, see, I can't get to it right now. Y'all can go check on BoxRec, you know, but if I'm correct, this is only his second fighting. No, correction. He's only fought 2 fights at 140 pounds. Ruslan Provodnikov was one of them. So it's a lot to worry about as far as now we don't know what his intentions is. You know, what if this guy comes out and knocks Pacquiao out? We're going to be screaming steroids, obviously. I'm gonna be screaming steroids to the high heaven, Joe. I'm dead serious. Like, if I see something that's not right, you know, something that's not Karceno Arum-ish, because listen, with what I do, I just don't watch one fight. I've had to watch, I say honestly, I probably watched 10 of Karceno Arum fights, I think. Long story short, somewhere along there. The same fights you can get access to, you know, is the same fights I watched. So it all depends on if you're going to take time out to watch those fights. So what I'm saying is I kind of will know, like, what's new for him and what's not. You know, that's just like if you see Marcos Maidana, you know, beating somebody up for staying in the middle of the ring. You're going to be like, what the fuck? That's not him. You know, so that's what I'm going to be looking for with Karceno Arum, because something just don't seem right, man. And for him to be a guy who's supposed to have such high integrity, why do you got a guy like that floating around in your camp, you know? Me as a promoter, I understand, you know, that the fees are very expensive for the drug testing and all kind of stuff like that. which makes me think that the draw testing's gotta be very strict. Vada, because why are you gonna hire a guy like him? You know, why is he floating around your camp? And then Chris that can keep a private gym. So, you know, maybe nobody was supposed to know he was there. So it was like, oh, fuck, gotta take a picture. Shit, they got us. You know? So that's what opens up, you know, like the debate, because we know that he looked good at the weigh-in. We see the muscle. But you're the 140-pound champion, and you can't make a catch weight of 144. So it's like, who are you? Are you the bigger fighter or are you the smaller fighter? Like, who are you, Chris Algieri? So many questions, so little answers. By the way, I'm going to be here tomorrow. Listen, tomorrow I'm going to turn up. If y'all notice, I've been doing a lot of videos. There's a reason why. But tomorrow, I'm going to cover Nathan Cleverly, Tony Bellew, George Groves, Dennis Douglin, James DeGale, Marco Antonio Parabon, Scott Quigg versus whoever that guy is, and Cale Smith versus the guy from Advanced Warfare. I'm going to be covering Pacquiao versus Algieri. I'm going to be covering Vasil Lomachenko versus Sean Panio. I'm going to be covering Zhao Shiming versus Otaki. I think that's his name is. Jesse Vargas versus Antonio DeMarco, and maybe one more because I got a point to prove. Just felt like getting that off my chest.
You know what fight I'm looking forward to most tomorrow? Lomachenko.
Yeah, I just want to see his skills. The guy he's fighting is actually not bad. He hasn't been stopped before, and the only guy he lost to was Chris John in the fight where he only lost about. He probably lost about 4 rounds. It wasn't a shutout, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But it all depends on how high you rank Chris John. Me personally, I can look at the fact he went undefeated for so long, but I say, hey, weak division. This time now, he wouldn't survive in this. Chris John wouldn't survive in this division right now. You know, especially with Donaire floating around, and you know, you got Lomachenko, Nicholas Walters, and you know, Nicholas Walters ducking him to me. You know, I didn't heard too many times from his camp him saying, or his trainer saying like, nah, we don't want him right now. So that makes me think, do you want him ever?
Just look at Lomachenko's offense. It's off the charts. It's like Mayweather's, but more aggressive. Like he just throws these beautiful shots, and that's what I like about
his movement.
His movement, and when he gets those combinations flying, it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm telling you.
Like I've been saying, that Orlando Salido fight, like he learned a lot. That was like a welcome to the boxing world.
Yep, that was his wake up call, and that's what he's building himself on now. Is that
Gary Russell ain't been seen? Oh wait. Gary Russell is on one of these cards. He's on I think he's on. He's not on the HBO one, so it's got to be the American one. Gary Russell is back. They're quietly sneaking him into the rotation. It's most likely going to be an untelevised fight. But Gary Russell is back this December. I forgot which card it is. It may be that Money Team card, you know, but his ass is back. As a matter of fact, let me find out right now for you.
okay?
I think he's overrated to me, man. I hate to say it, Gary Russell Jr. And the only reason why I say that is because
Well, when you think about it, like it all depends. He might be overrated, or Lomachenko just might be special. We'll over the next year or so where Lomachenko goes, and if he turns out to be some pound for pound beast that is just waiting to come out, then you can look at Gary Russell and say, yeah, he's a good fighter. He just ran into the wrong guy at the wrong time.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what they thought they were looking for, because when I started, Lomachenko's got tons of amateur footage on the internet if you really look for it. You don't even have to really look for it. 1220, that's the, which card is that? That's the Adonis Stevenson card. Yeah, he's fighting on the Adonis Stevenson.
Is he fighting the TBA?
Yep. They're gonna throw some guy up in there.
TBA.
Yeah, they're going to throw some guy up in there. No telling who. They're going to find somebody. They're going to start the whole Haymon plan all over again.
That's the worst thing. It's all he had was TBAs his whole career. Now he fought a name opponent. Now he's going back to TBAs.
Yeah, and fans knew that was going to happen, because the Al Haymon plan is, when you lose, we got to start you back over. Like, fuck what people say. Fuck what they don't like who you fight.
he'll never improve as a fighter as long as he keeps fighting guys that are so below him. He just, all he gets to do is throw punches. They're like sparring sessions for him. Then
Yes,
when he steps up, he's going to get his head smacked around again and starts
beating
over
up
again.
these guys, man. He's beating up on all these guys who really out there trying to feed their family. They know, they're like, damn, he's way too good. Why are you fighting us? It's like, damn, like, yo, like, let those guys eat instead of getting around. The Lomachenko made him look real bad.
Yeah, I suppose he's giving some cans some, good paydays and everything. All the power to him for that.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, it's like, that's what I say, how can people, expect me to give Al Haymon, like the benefit of the doubt? See, so I do videos, people say, this guy hate Al Haymon, or this guy's all for Al Haymon, but realistically, thanks for my camera, realistically, I really can't say anything until I know what his NBC plan is. What if the guy is really getting his own belt and he say, fuck all this bullshit y'all doing, I'm gonna start my own NWO. Basically, he got the NWO.
He could.
He Eric Bischoff. You got Mayweather. He Hollywood Hogan. You got I mean, it's the same thing. You got Leonard Ellaby. He Virgil, of course. He Vincent. Like it's how. Hold on for a minute. I can't deal with it anymore because, like I said, people are saying, and of course I have the contract, and I'm sure y'all probably have it by now too. People are saying, well, so what? He's getting the fighters paid. But I'm thinking he's getting the fighters paid with our money. So we mad that he's providing bullshit fights, but yet we keep condoning it by paying for it. So
yeah, it's like I don't like what I see from him. This master plan and this little, umbrella system they got building. I'm not really happy with that. But if he turns around and starts giving good fights, hey, all the power to him. But if he continues on the same track, you know what I mean? I can't see why anyone would want to pay or even watch. But we'll see. Time will tell what his plan is. I know that he's trying to cut himself off from the rest of the boxing world. He's trying to, gather up as many fighters as he can and wants to create his own little league. But, and you know what? I don't like it, but like I say, if he does start putting good fights together with that, with what he's got in the end, all the power to him. But if he continues on the same bullshit cycle, champions fighting, no-hopers, then what's the point? They might think, oh, this is a business. This is game. No, it's not a business. It's ridiculous.
That was really no excuse for Rod Sulka. Damn fucking woman.
No, there wasn't.
There was zero excuse for him to be fighting the lightning rod. Now, this is not no disrespect to Rod Sulka in any way, shape, or form. But once again, there's no reason why he should be fighting Rod Sulka.
No, that was pathetic.
How do you fix that? And then one thing in the contract, if you see, or that I read, is that the fighters don't have no say. It's like when Al Haymon say, listen, you fight Rod Sulka, you got to be like, all right, fuck it.
And you know what really bugs me about this? Like Danny Garcia, for instance, right? Look how inactive he is now. And they actually put him in with someone like Rod Sulka. If he had 2 tough fights in a row, staying busy though, like fighting 4 times a year, like someone like Triple G, and they gave him a Rod Sulka in there, you could look past it, right? But all these Haymon fighters now are so inactive. They're 1 or 2 fight a year fighters. That's it. That's all we're getting. And to waste basically his entire year, or at least half of it, on a no-hoper. What's the point?
Yeah, I mean, but that's what we've seen from him. So like I said, people have been saying, well, you should go with the brother. The brother's getting the brothers paid. I understand all that, I understand. I understand how the world works. I understand. But at the same time, I cover all these fights.
Yeah.
I provide a service. And not only that, I'm getting paid for it. So I don't want to be I can't just be like, yeah, I'm enjoying this shit.
No, you can't. And that's the thing. It's like you're also a fan.
I don't care. The brothers are getting paid.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They are getting paid, but you know what? They're not fighting as much. So they're really not making any more money.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah. Andre Virgil still running around getting his ass whipped. It's like, all right, we're gonna put you on the shelf for a year. Then come back. He's like, okay, no, like once again, Steve Upshur, okay, but it's like you're Andre Virgil. It's like you're not fighting Steve Upshur. It's like how you go from, Victor Ortiz, Robert Guerrero, Soto Karass, then all the way down to untelevised. And remember, the boxing of years ago, this shit, put it this way, the Al Haymon shit we're seeing was not going on 20, 30 years ago. I understand that promoters, most notably Don King, fucked it up to whereas now all promoters are looked at as being, bad for the sport. But when you look at what Al Haymon is doing, and if that contract is legit, which I'm pretty much 90% sure that it is, it's like, okay, you got to be a fighter that's in it strictly for the money. You got to literally throw portions of your pride out of the window because you have no control over where your career goes. Like he tells you, okay, this is where you're going to go. Okay, all right, you got this. For example, when it comes to Mayweather going to the to the BET Awards, that's Al Haymon like, all right, I set you up to go to the BET Awards. The jet gonna come pick you up, such and such. When he went over to South Africa, that was him doing that. When you get Danny Garcia going on radio shows, and I'm not saying interviews, they control that level. But when he's going on like radio shows, and special guest appearances, that's Al Haymon. Amir Khan showing up on 106 in Park of all places, on BET, that's Al Haymon. So I can understand, the business side to whereas he gets the fighters publicity, he definitely gets them paid, and he gets you big fights, and more importantly for the fighters, putting it on my camera, he gets you on the network. So he's telling you, listen, just put your career in my hands. I'm gonna get you paid. You're gonna be a champion. And I'm gonna get you on national television. I'm gonna get you on cable networks. So to the fighter, that sounds good. But if you're a fighter that you're like, man, I really want to fight the best. I want to fight that person, and you can sense that from Keith Thurman. If you're a fighter like that, then
they're not getting anywhere.
It's not the right manager or advisor for you.
No, I think if anything, if he had any good in him at all right now, he would say, okay, Keith, if you want to leave, I'll let you go, and let Keith explore other options, because what his plan doesn't match what
businessman. That's the old man.
Keith Thurman, Keith Thurman, he's a guy that he wants to go out there and challenge himself, and that's not under Al Haymon's blueprint. So it's something that I feel bad for Keith Thurman on that, because a lot of people hype him up, and he is a technically good fighter. I can tell. We don't know how good he is because he hasn't been tested. He wants to be tested. That's what I like to see in a fighter. When we see that in a fighter, that's the stuff that we say, oh yeah, this is a guy you can get behind, right? So we see Keith Thurman, we want to see him get in there, and he wants to get in there with the best available, but we're just not seeing it because they have other plans for him. I don't know what it is, but he just doesn't want to be an undercard fighter his whole career. He's wasting away the years, and there's going to be other guys doing it too now. I feel bad the way it is, because I can't say I hate, but I don't like Bob Arum, for instance. But in the last few years, Arum's been putting on some good cards, good matchups. Not necessarily the best fighter against the best fighter, but one good fighter against another good fighter. Let them rumble it up, mix it up, and it's pretty good. I can't complain about that. But Haymon, it seems like in the past year plus, year and a half, his matchups with his stable of fighters, especially the guys that have belts, he's been aligning them up weaker and weaker, with weaker opposition all the time, so they're guaranteed to keep that belt one way or another. Or if there are one of his fighters that he has plans for, like someone like Kid Chocolate, he's taking them and he's saying, no, I don't want you to fight this guy. This guy's a risk.
That's the biggest issue in boxing right there.
Yeah, but they'll strip me of my belt. Well, forget about it. Here, I'll give you some money. You drop that belt. We'll have big plans for you in 2015. And, Kid Chalk's probably there saying, are you sure? This doesn't seem like a good idea. Trust me. You know me. I always take care of my guys.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, Kid Chalk gets talked into it and everything. So who knows where he is? His career's in limbo right now because he's sitting dormant, just like so many others.
Thing with guys like, Robert Guerrero, even all the way down to this Stavern versus Wilder. There's some real deep internal shit going on with that.
Big time.
Because from my understanding, if I'm correct, since Richard Schaefer is no longer with Golden Boy, there's some type of clause that releases Deontay Wilder from his contract with Golden Boy. It's some weird situation going on, this stuff has been shared all over my Facebook wall, and of course it's all in different forums, but it's some weird situation going on where it's the reason why these purse bids, have been coming up, so frequent. The reason why Stavern versus Wilder is official as far as January 17th, but there's no venue and there's no network. When have you ever heard of fights being official but no network?
Yeah.
It's some weird situation going on with that. So I'm thinking to myself, Don King, he wants it on HBO. That's for sure to me. But Don King has this thing with ESPN, for his heavyweights. But Oscar De La Hoya may be trying to bring it to HBO and bring Haymon over to HBO, and that's why it's hard to really decide with Haymon because he's got so much power. But it seems as though he does not want to do business with HBO in any way, shape, or form. So
yeah, I don't think HBO really wants to do business with him either.
Yeah, they don't because look what they gave him so much. What I'm understanding is Haymon is the reason why, and I'm not saying directly, but majority of the reason why Pacquiao's only getting one 24/7. They're not covering the weigh-in. HBO's getting real strict with the fights, basically telling Ruslan, we don't care if you go fight over in Russia untelevised. They did it to GGG earlier this year.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck who you are. They're only getting the fights that they want. And Haymon, just like Showtime, is allegedly rumored to be having these issues now with generating profit. Haymon was doing that. With Showtime. HBO 3-4 years ago. So you got a guy like Steven Espinoza who's in a situation where his job is literally on the line and everybody knows it. Because once Canelo goes and you got Oscar, putting on fights over on HBO that should be on Showtime, there's issues. So from what I see from Haymon is that he is blocking the fights. He's blocking them. He's got his own plan and he's sticking to his plan.
What's going to be funny though is his plan that he has worked out. I can't see it working in the end. You know why? Because right now he's getting everyone else, like other networks like Showtime and even Golden Boy, financing his fights, promoting his fights, taking the financial risk for him. He's getting his cut of the fighters' pay. But when he goes out on his own, like with NBC, he's paying them to air his fights, which is really, really odd to me. He's not going to make any money off those fights. So he's going to have to pay NBC to air the fights. He's going to have to pay his fighters. He's not going to be able to recoup that money. He's going to take a loss on that. He probably knows that in advance. But when it comes to time when he's the one that's going to start bankrolling these fights and he's the one that's going to where it's his money on the line, all these fighters that are bragging about making big purses with him, they're not going to get them anymore. Once he realizes that the money is coming out of his pocket and he's not making money on these cards, and he's, set a commitment for his own network or whatever it is down the road, and he sees his bank account shrinking, you're going to see those so-called Haymon fighters that are making these glorious purses that he talked other people into giving them, he's not going to give them as much.
Well, network television is a whole different ballgame as far as money is concerned. The fighter, he's got Haymon. We have to realize that he can, at this point in time, he can't go bust because He's got so many super fights. You know, right there that he says, all right, if I'm going broke, all right, I'm going to give you Danny Garcia, Adrian Broner. I'll give you Keith Thurman, Lucas Matisse. I'll give you Robert Guerrero versus Amir Khan. You know, he's got all those fights there he can put together. You know, but as it stands right now, until he puts together his plan, he doesn't he doesn't give a shit about us, honestly. So these
No.
cards at the end of the year were pretty much thrown together because a guy like Amir Khan, you don't give him 2 months to promote his fight, and he wants his fans to come over here to see him. You know, you don't do that, you know, to a guy like that because if you want to expose him right, you want to make sure his people were able to come over here, you know, and see him just like our people are able here to see our people are here to see him as well. So, you know, those fights for the end of the year, they were forced because those dates for Showtime had to be filled. Like Golden Boy and Al Haymon, they were obligated to those dates. So that's like, all right, let's put these fights together and then we out. You know, remember, let's look at the fact that De La Hoya's already gone. We might as well say he's done with Showtime. We might as well say it.
Pretty much, yeah.
So let's look at all those fighters that are that are Golden Boy fighters. They're gone. You know, they're just fulfilling those dates right now. And you think Al Haymon's going to stick around and be like, whoa, okay, well, who's going to promote our fights? So I think Al Haymon, like, if he wasn't such a creepy dude by being all secretive and everything, it would be so much easier for him to promote fights. But there's some reason that this guy just does not want to be seen in the public eye.
Yeah, it's his whole phantom persona. His whole phantom persona. It makes people question him. Like, it makes people wonder, what is this, some kind of mafia dude or something? Like, people are wondering what he's all about, right? And that bothers a lot of people. But I'm just curious, like, in a year or two down the road, when he has his plan, his so-called plan, and I say that in hand quotes there, all worked out, because that's when he's going to start having to do the bankrolling instead of, you know, Golden Boy taking the risks and Showtime taking the risks. The networks, they're not going to pay big money because network sports, unless it's a hit, they're not going to pay big money. So he's going to have all these guys that want $1 million a fight, and you're going to have, like, you know, NBC or CBS saying, we'll give you, you know, this amount of money, $1 million for this card. And he's going to have to pay out $3 million in purses. So, you know, then the only place he can really recoup any money is, you know, basically filling the seats. So it'll be interesting in how it goes. I can't see it going too far. I think eventually he's going to cave once he realizes that he's taken on, you know, bitten more than he can chew, because he has no expertise in the promotional area. Well, unless he gets Richard Schaefer with him, and he probably does, I could see them doing something, but it's still going to come down to he's got a lot of fighters that are spoiled now. They're going to want big paydays, and I can't see where the revenue stream is going to come from. He plans on building his own channel. That's a risk right there, because look at the WWE. They had their own channel, and that's gone bankrupt.
Yep.
So,
$100 million,
you know, it's like these pay subscription channels that, you know, there might be some people who will take it on, but they'll cancel it out after, you know, a couple times because they're going to see garbage cards, fighters against no-hopers, and just like that Showtime card with Danny Garcia and Salka. People don't want to see that. They're going to get sick of it.
I don't think Haymon realizes, or the promoters realize how much they are promoting people or fans not to watch their fights legally.
Yeah.
Like, when you put on bullshit cards, fans are like, all right, fuck that. I'm going to stream it. I'm not watching that shit.
Exactly.
Promoters have got to do a better job in promoting. And also,
funny,
you know, making people want to buy the fight, like turning each fight into an event where people will join together like they do for Mayweather fights.
And what's
all your fights, you know, you build enough flair that all your fights are like that.
Yeah, the sad part about it is if Haymon even looks at his junior welterweight and welterweight roster of fighters that he has, If he started mixing and matching these top guys, even semi-top guys all together, putting them in fight cards, he could fill a couple years worth of cards, have monster fights. People don't get sick of fighters that lose. They'll be looking forward to the next fight the guy's in. He could have mega fights and have people lining up to buy the tickets if he
I
would
think
just
he's a little too close, with his fighters. Because once I heard that Leo Santa Cruz, basically praising him. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play that. While I go continue to work on my catfish nuggets. But when you got Leo Santa Cruz, just basically like, hold up, I want to thank Al Haymon. Basically, it was like, no, you're not kicking me off the stage. Like, I want to make sure I show Al Haymon some love. So I'm thinking like, he's treating these guys, and then one thing I noticed about him, he likes to hug. Like, he will hug the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Like Al Haymon, like when he sees his fighters, he just hug them.
Yeah, you can't. That's one thing you got to do. It's like when you're in that kind of business, you can't develop any kind of love for your fighters because they're out there to make you money. You're out there to make them money. It's about financials. It's not about being buddies.
I don't think he sees his fighters as having a shelf life. All right, here we go. I'm gonna put this Santa Cruz on.
My mom, my brother, my sister, and my girlfriend, because they've always been there for me, helping me since I was a nobody. And I just want to thank Showtime, Stefan Espinosa, Golden Boy, the whole Golden Boy team, whole Al Haymon team, and my whole team that has been helping me there run, and when I go running, and everybody. And I know I'm forgetting a lot of people, but I don't know, I'm just nervous and I can't think so much. But I said the last for the best for last. I will thank my manager Al Haymon. He's not only there for me as a manager, but he's always been there for me like a family. He has helped me in everything I needed. There's no day that he tells me no. The only time he tells me no is when I want to pay something back or something. He tells me no, you can't pay me right now, and so I tell you when. And that's only. But for anything else, I ask him for tickets, anything. He always tells me yes. So I am very happy with him, and I think I was thinking about. I had never heard that there was been a award for manager of the year or manager of all time. So if I was doing that, I'll give him an award for being the best manager that there is. Because and he doesn't, I think he doesn't know how his as a business, he helps them as a family. And he's helped me so much that I have no other way than to thank him. That is the one that gives a fighter of the year or fight of the year or trainer of the year, they should give him a award for manager of all time or manager of the year too. So he will say that, and thank you very much. And about the fight, I want to say that I'm really excited to be.
So what happens is, Al Haymon, he'll give you some money. He'll give you like $100,000, and then you go to pay him back. He'll be like, no, not yet. He give you some. He loan you some money. You get an advance. No, not yet. You're gonna give it to him, but not yet. You cool. So when you hear like about Adrian Broner spending like $50,000 in a strip club, oh man, excuse me, you gotta. My bad. Pineapple soda. It's a black thing. But listen, like when you got like Adrian Broner blowing $50,000 in a strip club, you're thinking, okay, all right, he made his first $1 million for Maidana, right? For the first Maidana fight. That's when he made his first $1 million, if I'm correct. It wasn't from Malignaggi, but he made close. Long story short, you think, like, can he really afford to do that? And that makes me think, how many advances has this guy got? Another perfect example, when Adonis Stevenson was all over Instagram and social media, the day after he got signed by Al Haymon, showing his apartment on his phone, like, yeah, look at this shit, yeah, look at he got the bar, oh shit. Then he in the car, then they show him in the car, he like, what the fuck? Thank you, Al Haymon. Like, perfect example. So that makes me think Al Haymon giving these guys signing bonuses. Some type of bonuses and shit to make sure, when he sign them, like, you're automatically happy and you have a reason. I think he's probably one of those guys that he wants to have a reason for you to say thank you to him. So, like, he's one of them guys that give out, like, real expensive Christmas gifts, like send you, like, flat screen TVs and shit. You be like, God damn, why do you do that?
Well, every time they do the in-ring interviews after a fight, and I always see Sam Watson standing behind the fighter, and I can almost picture him holding a gun to the guy's back. Say thank you, Al Haymon.
He just be sitting there looking like.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the thank you, Al Haymon.
Then all of a sudden, be like, thank you, Al Haymon. He'd be like.
Yeah. You can tell they're coached. That's what bugs me. They're coached to say this stuff.
Yeah, and Sam Watson seemed like one of them guys. They be like, you gotta make sure you go out there and you thank him, because Lord knows that the things he done for you, he's a good man. He's a very good man. Just make sure you thank him. He just keeps saying like, all right, well, thank you. I'm like, God damn. Because the first thing, and I forgot who's the first person to do it. It was like, I want to thank Al Haymon, then I want to thank God and my mom, because without them I couldn't be here. It's like, I'm trying to figure out who's the first person.
Yeah. You got some peeps trying to get into this chat, but they're looking for invites.
How? Why? How don't people know how to get in? How do you not know how?
They don't.
Errol Jarrett from the UK. He wasn't on my acquaintances or nothing. He just popped in here and just started raising hell. Like, me, like, I don't like, you can join. You gotta, like, listen, use your technology. You got a smartphone, use your technology. Look, matter of fact, I'll do you a favor. Here, listen. Look, watch this. Come on, man, say something. Oh. How to join Google Hangout.
Here's information from Google Help.
You see how easy that is? Do you see how easy? Start a conversation. Open Hangouts. I'm not going to read this shit to you because it's that simple.
Yeah, all they got to do is find you in Google Hangouts. They gotta go into their Google Plus profile, search for you, TstreeT Controversy.
Your Gmail account. You go into your Gmail account. Once you're in your Gmail account, put into that search bar for Hangouts TstreeT. Just make it as simple as possible. Go into your Gmail account. It's going to be your name and then like a little plus next to it. A lot of people don't know about it because they may have their Gmail email accounts, but they don't know about all the other shit. Go to your Gmail account, and then you're going to see your name with a little plus on it. That means Google Plus. And then it's going to be, like a whole different Google shit you probably never seen before. Obviously, you ain't seen before if you don't know how to use Google Hangout. But long story short, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, so let's talk about... Wait a minute. What do I want to talk about? Well, we might as well get the Mayweather talk out of the way because there's some things that's burning me up about that. You just don't know who to believe these days. And I know Steven Espinosa is a goddamn son of a bitch liar. I know that for sure. Then again, he's probably a cool guy. He's probably He's probably one of them guys that you probably meet and you think, like, he's a fucking son of a bitch. But then, no, I'm talking about before you meet him, you think he's an asshole. But then you meet him, you be like, God damn, I was really wrong about him. He's a good guy. But the way, he be snapping out on social media and everything, it's like, nah, you're an executive, homeboy. You're an executive, homie. It's just certain things you just can't be doing. Heckling and going back and forth with fans of boxing. He going back and forth with kids. Like tweeting and shit. Like, kind of shit is that? It's not good business. But as far as the fight, it's hard to talk about it because you've had so many people throughout the years say it's official. It's happening. It's happening. It's official. It's going down, So it's hard to talk about it, and it's difficult because you'll have people that you consider boxing experts that know that, okay, it's close. But at the same time, they're just like everybody else. Like, they're no better. Nobody knows anything more than the next person. You know, so the only people that really know what's going down is the guy that runs CBS. I forgot his name. The guy over Steven Espinosa and the guy over the Showtime guy, Matthew Blank. The guy that's the CBS guy. Is him.
Yeah.
It's him, Al Haymon, Floyd Mayweather, Bob Arum, and, you know, Oscar De La Hoya. Maybe, I say no more than 10 people know if the fight is happening or not happening or when it's happening, period. Because it's not the type of thing, and I've said it in videos before, they're not going to go through all that shit with the media and everything anymore. They're not doing it anymore. They want to make sure that if the fight doesn't happen, you know, people already expected it not to happen, or already know, like, well, you know, so if the fight does happen, they'll finally have something concrete to give us. So when people are talking about, you know, Pacquiao should have took the $40 million and a 35% offer, we don't know if they're taking that shit or not. He's got to fight with Karceno Arum first. We don't know if they turn that shit. That's on the table. It's on the table. If it is, if you consider Steven Espinosa to be credible or not, the shit is on the table. So imagine Floyd Mayweather and Showtime sitting that deal, Pacquiao taking it, losing to Algieri, and then Mayweather's already tied in to face Pacquiao. You know, none of it, like, it doesn't make sense. So I can understand, like, in this world today with social media and technology, people don't really know how to. How can I say? It's not that they don't do. It's just that they don't put the time in to further research. So a lot of people, when they see a guy like Espinosa, you know, send a tweet like that, they be like, he should have took the $40 million. You know, like,
Yeah.
it's just like it's sad when they get like that. They be like, see, I told you, he don't want the fight. He don't want it. He don't want it. You know, like it just starts getting outrageous.
And you find,
and
you'll notice that different fans are so polarized on one side or the other. Like, you know, you get the Manny fans all crazy. Yeah, Floyd's a duck. He's a chicken. Put a chicken head on him. You know, and you got the and then you got the Mayweather side. That, you know, the Floyd fans all saying that, you know, it's the Manny fans. They're chicken. It's all a lie. They're just doing it to get extra buys on their own pay-per-view and stuff like that.
So he can rock Manny. Bob Arum just want to get him so he can continue to rock Manny. You know, like, it's just outrageous. But I can honestly say that from what I know, you know, I'm confident that it will happen. Why? Because, as I said in videos before, Mayweather's back is somewhat against the wall. People don't look at that part. His back is somewhat against the wall. Showtime hasn't been generating a profit. That is a known. You know why that's a known? Because the shareholders of Golden Boy Promotions is like, listen, man, we wanted to make a certain amount, but we ain't making shit. So if those two big companies, Brainer and AEG was involved with the lawsuit with Michael Jackson on the wrongful death. If you got those companies like, listen, we're making no money, how much you think Showtime is making? You're a fool if you still think Floyd Mayweather is getting pay-per-view buy money. You're a fool.
Yeah, like Floyd and Manny's pay-per-view buys are gone. They've tanked.
Yeah, you know nobody's getting no pay-per-view percentages no more.
No, they used to get the 1.3, 1.4 million buyers on the regular. Now they're lucky if they're hitting 600,000 or 700,000, and that's probably even a lie. People are tired of buying pay-per-views, and that's what it is. It's
I can't listen, man. I don't pay my cable bill until like the day before it goes off or like moments after it goes off. And I'm like, oh shit, like I got no internet, no phone, no nothing. I just start panicking, looking for my card. Like I start like, but when I look, or like I see nothing but a pay-per-view on my bill every month, and I'm like, what is this shit? Like and then I gotta pay $60 tomorrow night. They gotta pay that $60. But see, here's the thing. And what I do, I can't stream. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I can't sit up here and talk about whether I like the fight or whether it's worth it or not. But fucking Floyd Mayweather versus Amir Khan, so help me God. So help me God. But see, also I need to have those fights on my DVR. I need that HD stuff. You know, because like a lot of times I like to actually, you know, like show in between the round shit. You can't be doing that shit, you know, like I don't care what stream you got. it's not no 1080i or no 720p streams. You know, I don't care what you're using. You know, so I can't really go through it, and then that shit don't be guaranteed. You know, you don't know if it's gonna freeze up and all that. So, you know, I'm always gonna be a pay-per-view buy for Floyd, or well, except for American. But the way Pacquiao going, if he fighting a Jesse Vargas next, that shit gonna be on HBO. Regular HBO.
It's where it should be. It's like, you know, like Floyd versus Maidana 2. That shouldn't have been pay-per-view. That should have been on regular HBO. Even this fight, Manny versus Algieri,
Yeah.
that should be on regular HBO. That's nothing special about this fight.
Oscar De La Hoya used to be humble. He wouldn't like, you know, even though he's still, I think he's only got Floyd by like another 30 million or something like that. But he still, you know, brought in the most money as far as pay-per-views is concerned. But even then, Oscar De La Hoya would still fight on regular HBO.
Yeah.
You know, so he would, you know, unlike now where they're like, all right, if you're pay-per-view, we're going to keep you pay-per-view. You know, like it's a big deal when you become a pay-per-view fighter.
That's the thing. Even the pay-per-view fighters, they shouldn't be pay-per-view every single fight.
Yeah.
The pay-per-view should be delegated for the Floyd versus Manny fights, or any other, like even Floyd versus Garcia, maybe another, you know, well-known undefeated champion. You know, taking a big risk. Yes, make that pay-per-view, but not these you know, these Algieris and Maidanas and everything. Good. You know, Maidana's a good, decent fighter, but he's no world beater. Everyone knows that. He's a tough fighter, comes to fight, and that's all good. There's nothing wrong with that. But all these pay-per-view fights that they get going on, you know, just no matter who Floyd or Manny fights, it's pay-per-view. That's ridiculous. And people are going to get sick of it, and they've already showed the signs that they are.
Yeah, I can't, I don't know how long I can keep this shit up. Because that's why I get so upset, because I'm the type of guy, like, okay, all right. For example, tomorrow is going to be the first time where I'm actually going to sit through an entire UK card. Like, I'm talking about 6 fights. I'm going to cover them all. And then when it comes to the Pacquiao fight, you know, what is it, 4 major fights? I'm going to cover them. But I feel that pay-per-views should be good front to back. Bob Arum, this is the best card he's put on, and I don't even know when. I really don't even know when.
Yeah, like I say, Lomachenko is a guy, you put him on an undercard, it's a good fight card, because they could put him in against a cab driver. As long as the cab driver's tough, it can last a few rounds, and I get to see Lomachenko do his thing with his, because we've had so much limited access to this guy. Just watching him throw in combinations, like there was one point in the fight he had with Russell. Russell was standing there, crouched over with his 2 hands up, covering his gloves up, covering his face. Lomachenko did this move where he would take his left arm, knock down Russell's left hand, cross over with the right hook. Then cross over with his right hand, take down Russell's right hand, cross over with the left hook. It was a beautiful thing in the 5th round. He made his own opening there. He just batted his arms down and crunched him with the opposite hook each time.
Yeah, because I'm sure he's probably seen like 50 Gary Russell Jr.'s. You know, he probably seen like 50 fighters like that before. You know, if not beating up on Gary Russell Jr., probably when he was a kid or something. I don't know. But Bob Arum, I've noticed people say, you know, like we were talking about earlier, he's put on better cards as of late. I think only the reason why is because he's old. That's why I think his mental state is somewhat of the reason why he's giving us these fights, because he really be wanting bloodbaths. Like, if you listen to him when he talk about the fights, you know, like, for example, you know, he basically booted Rickendall because he wanted Rickendall to leave the Cuban school.
Yeah, and, you know, not too long ago...
Like the son of a bitch just won't... He's got some talent. He just won't fight. And it's like, yo, he out for blood. Like, Bob Arum with his blood.
What's funny is even 3 years ago, you wouldn't see Arum put his fighters in with anyone else, no other like promotional team. But now you see him doing like putting on fights with guys from Banner Boxing, Star Boxing,
man.
And even De La Hoya. He's matching his guys up. He'll throw them in with anybody now, which is a good thing. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's because of his mental state. Like, I really do. I think it's because he old. You know, he just saying, well, fuck it. You know,
I think it has something to do with that. And I think it also has a lot to do with Heyman stole a lot of fighters, and he doesn't. He has a smaller stable than he used to, so he has to look external for opponents sometimes. So I think it's a combination of things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people say they want, Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley to fight all these Heyman fighters. I say this, like I say all the time, you can't make those fights until you make Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Because the question fans are going to ask is like, how is Heyman working together with Arum and all them, and he can't make the Mayweather fight? That's going to make Mayweather look more afraid because it's like, well, the networks are not involved anymore, and now the managers or promoters are not involved anymore. So man, what's you? So it's different things Mayweather can hide behind, but I still believe that Mayweather, with all the power he's supposed to have, he can come out right now. No matter what time. He can come out 3 o'clock in the morning, in U.S. time. And he can do a press conference and say, I want Manny Pacquiao, and fans will watch and they will listen. He can go, Miss Jackson did a press conference on her suing his ass. He can't come out, like he has the power to tell Al Haymon, I want Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
But fans don't understand that he does not do that. They say he's his own boss. You've even seen the photo of Al Haymon giving him the check.
Yes, I've seen those photos. So we got Aztec and Lil Javi 456 in here.
I don't know who none of these people are.
I know who Aztec is. Lil Javi, give us
I was just waiting for y'all to like finish your conversation.
Listen, we got about 45 minutes because I'm going to go cook my catfish nuggets, and plus I got to be on here tomorrow night. So I'm not trying to miss a beat tomorrow. I'm trying to make sure I do my videos, and then as soon as that post-fight press conference is up, and be right on here on Hangout.
Yeah.
I've been getting myself like mentally prepared, and going to bed early. This is really past my bedtime. I've been going to bed like 9 p.m., some shit like that.
Oh, Leonard just came back?
Yeah, I used to do videos, but like they all got deleted, so I don't even know what happened. And I would guess like I wouldn't get like so many views, but it was something.
Yeah, YouTube took your channel, they booted you, bro.
Why?
You probably was, I don't know, you probably was doing some racist shit or something. I don't know.
No, I wasn't talking shit. Like I was just actually like talking boxing. Like
yeah, they probably was sick. They probably was sick of you.
Nah,
I wasn't really well known for people to be sick of me.
Half the time it's the viewers on YouTube. You get some jackasses on there, and they they start doing things, and they start reporting it for one reason or another, even though it could be a complete lie. Look what happened to blood boxing. It happened to him. They took away all his account and all his videos there once. Well, and it took him like a year to get him back.
It's a lot more thorough now. When I was on Enter the Arena, we got shut down for 2 weeks. Right after Mayweather versus Canelo. 167,000 views in 16 hours, and we were shut down. We actually got an official apology from Showtime CBS. I wish I still had it, but it's over on Don still has all that shit. But long story short, I get flagged probably thousands of times a day. Of course I know how to not get flagged. It's like I know how to, make sure I don't get copyrighted, none of that shit. But will I share my secrets? No, not never. No way. That will never happen, because people be like, how do you get to do this and that and do that and this and that? It's because I'm me and you're you. Simple as that. I'm not done with this guy, though.
Yeah, I was about to ask what happened to the picture.
This picture, it's not over yet. I burnt his face off.
Yes.
Fucking face off.
I hope that wasn't some of that voodoo. I hope he didn't use one of those black candles.
No. I did it in a controlled environment. I went over the sink and
did you burn it with one of those black candles?
I threw them in the trash.
Oh, okay.
Yo, you're gonna get diarrhea again.
That's what he get. I'm gonna hang his shit upside down. Before tomorrow night's fight is over, it's gonna be like piss stain. No, I'm gonna use it I'm gonna unfold it and try to use it to pick up the dog shit. Then we'll put it back into a broken frame because he's a fraud. I don't trust him. I don't trust him no more. Honestly, I trusted him a little bit. I'm like, yo, he really know what he's talking about. I was like, I'm gonna get me some avocados. Like, really? I feel cheated. I feel cheated. Like I feel like when I first found out Pee Wee Herman was a pervert, and I'm like, yo, Playhouse. I really feel like that. I'm like, yo, I'm getting back in shape. I'm like, okay, Chris Algieri, is inspiring me. Avocados and toast with a little bit of jam on top of it. I never heard of no shit like that before. I was gonna try it.
Fucking eggs.
I was going to try it. And then he had me even thinking, like, you know what? People used to always say I live in my mom's basement. I say, maybe it's not so bad down there anymore. Like, he really was inspiring me. I was like, yeah, I should go back and live in my mom's. You motherfucker, you.
You gotta get a Honda, man.
How the fuck you don't make weight? How don't you make weight? You a nutritionist. What kind of doctor is he? He should fail. Yo, he should drop out. I swear he should drop out. He should go
drop out of what?
He's in school, he's in school. So the biggest fight of his life, he's supposed to be a doctor in like 2 years. Who's gonna hire him? I'm not hiring him. I don't want him nowhere near my family. Like, how would you refer him? Like, what if he was like, had a little side job before he got the Pacquiao call? What if he was a personal trainer? You think that those people are going to call him up now and be like, oh, well, the biggest fight of your life, you couldn't even make weight.
That's what I was thinking, too. I was like, if he was like a nutritionist for another fighter, I think they would have fired his ass.
Yeah, because it's like, yo, how you don't like your Chris Algieri, all that shit. So that makes me think.
24/7. I'm a nutritionist on the side, whatever. I make all my food. He put his shit on Instagram.
It's all on Instagram.
Yeah, it's all on Instagram. So then when I see he didn't make weight, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I thought he was gonna come in like at 143.
I never thought that Chris Algieri would have to get butt naked to make weight. I never thought it would be. I never thought he would be like that.
Especially when his last fight was a 140, and this is a 144.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's still a 140 champion. So of course fans are going to say like, oh, you can't make 140 anymore.
Exactly, you can't.
Of course fans are going to say that. So he might as well just give up his belt and take his whipping. But for some reason, I'm thinking he's going to come in there like real big tomorrow, man.
Yeah, because I heard an interview with him saying that he wanted to fight at 147 for the 147 title. I think I seen a video on that. Maybe he was
talking all that shit. I got it, man. Like, I really was thinking, and history shows that when boxers don't make weight or they have trouble making weight, they usually end up getting their ass beat.
Yeah.
And just hearing him talk sometimes, motherfucker. Like, he just so fake now. I just got deja vu too. That's crazy. Especially I'm talking about Algieri. That's the voodoo coming back. You know what happened? I did notice. Look, go back and watch the way. As soon as he took his medallion off and stepped on the scale, maybe that's when he started having the problems with the weight. So maybe that was her chance to get him. Because he took his medallion off, and seem like everything is cool. But then it's like, how do you get down to 143.6? So it's like, you damn near drop a pound. Like, where'd that come from? How did you not make weight out there eating all that shit? Yo, I be fucking that food up out there. Like, how often do he get to go to China?
He was on Instagram too. Everything. He was like, he put a picture of a cheeseburger, that he was eating a cheeseburger, and he was like, oh no, this is not a cheat day. I need carbs. I need fat to rebuild or whatever.
He's a fraud, man. He's a fraud.
And he's acting all smart, like he know what he's talking about, and then he don't make weight. Like, I was just, when at first I thought when they said 144, I thought he made it, like 144 on the mark. But then when I see him getting naked, I'm like, what the hell? I was like, is he gonna reweigh himself? Like, why is he doing that? And then I realized that he was like a little bit over, and I was just thinking to myself like,
Yeah, then he went to the side, he took his fucking drawers off, and then he had to get back on, and still did not. Like you rarely see that. Like fighters know that they can't make like that they can't make the weight or not, you know. But the fact that he took his drawers off and he still couldn't make the weight, so he probably was like, "Fuck, now I'm all out here with my dick out, and I still ain't make the weight."
nah, he was probably. I mean, it's the biggest fight of his life. He should have. I really think. I never would have thought he would have missed the weight, and I really think that tomorrow.
Of all the things to think of him, you would have never thought it would have been the weight he would have missed. You would have thought so much other shit. You would have never thought like, oh, he ain't gonna make it. Man, fucking.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Canelo was fighting on Mayweather. Like you thought, oh, Canelo not gonna make weight or some shit. But like Algieri, you know he's gonna make the weight. You just know he's gonna make it. And that's what really like just I was like, what the fuck? So like tomorrow, he's gonna get knocked out. Oh, he's gonna get stopped. To me, I think.
Listen to this bullshit. Breakfast smoothie: strawberries, broccoli, ginger, almond milk, coconut water.
I think I've seen that shit.
Whatever this other shit is, I don't know how to pronounce it. And it's like, for what, motherfucker? Like, for what? Like, for what?
He didn't make the weight anyway.
Listen to this shit. He got some wild caught salmon.
Oh yeah, I saw that wild caught salmon with
potato, yellow corn, green salad, and peanut bread for dinner tonight, you motherfucker. Great variety of colors and flavors.
He even puts it in Spanish too.
Yeah, what type of freak shit is that? What is wrong?
He's like percentage of Argentinian or something. Like he has like an Argentina blood in him or something.
Burn about 2,200 calories.
So he could get more.
Should have put a laxative in that smoothie.
Yeah, yo, listen. And then I'm looking at his photos. He is like all extra muscular, yo.
Yeah, I thought he was. I really thought.
What the hell was that?
I don't know, man. But listen, we got like 29 minutes left, man. Yo, waiting to so listen. So all y'all who are in here right now, y'all should know how to use Google Hangout by now. Y'all should know how to be able to join. You know, it should be simple by now. So tomorrow I'm going to be on time, just like I was tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to wait till after the post-fight press conference. You know, then I'm gonna start. So tomorrow night most likely gonna be popping. I won't be surprised if 30 people doing Google Hangout because people start popping out the woodwork when Pacquiao and Mayweather fighting. But no matter what, I'm gonna hold that shit down. But let me see what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to see if he had anything to say. What the fuck is going on? All right, I'm gonna start. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna start booting, but I can't.
I think it's that chatty one.
Yeah, I know. It probably is him.
I'm trying to hit that blood, man. Pass that blood.
That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up.
Who the fuck? Who is it?
I don't know. Some cracking up.
Well, I already know what I'm going to do. It may not be that person or not, but they're going now. And Dre, you're going to get booted too. I don't trust you. Matter of fact, I'm just going to say something. Speak your word, bro. Who are you? Yo. All right, Dre. No, not you. I'm talking about Dre. I'm booting you now. If you want to speak up for yourself, booting you in that ass. Anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. If Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao is to happen, of course it has to be on Showtime. I don't even know how they would do that in this day and age. Like, would fans have the option to buy one or the other pay-per-view? And I'm thinking, okay, well, if they do that, then how do they add up the total pay-per-view buys? You know, like it's a difficult situation to look at, but if you really think about it, once again, I don't think this shit would be like this if it wasn't for Al Haymon. And not to mention, I'm gonna say Richard Schaefer with his attitude, because Richard Schaefer made it clear that he did not want to work with Bob Arum ever again. You know, so that automatically eliminates a Manny Pacquiao fight. He didn't want it.
That's why Oscar fucking booted his ass. He fucking fired his ass.
And what about?
Not to mention, you allow all these fighters, you know, to sign up with contracts, you know, and you don't you allow all these fighters to sign contracts with Al Haymon, but did not sign contracts with you, like with your company. Like, that's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know, so you got guys like Keith Thurman and Deontay Wilder, who was Golden Boy fighters, but now, you know, now they're just Al Haymon fighters, you know, and that's the word on the curve. That's what they're saying right now. So, you know, I don't blame him. I mean, I look at it like this. From what I'm understanding, Richard Schaefer was, as I've heard many times, priceless. He was able to get these fighters these paydays, and he was able to get Mayweather all these pay-per-view, like buy money and everything like that. But in return, you know, the company was basically running off of pennies and not generating too much. You know, and now if you look at the beef it's caused with the network, with Showtime, you know, it's a I mean, it's a shame that that when it comes to boxing, you know, the networks are basically promoters too, because they can decide what they show and what they don't show. And also, you know, they don't put their foot down like they need to. Because a guy like Steven Espinoza to me, you know, he just hasn't shown me enough credibility. He hasn't shown me why I should believe anything he has to say. This is the guy who at one point that said that Garcia versus Salka was intended to be a non-title fight. You know, bullshit. Get out of here. We all saw the poster.
Yeah, the poster, they try to fool us all the time. That's what I hate. Like,
just like we didn't know
with the
go back to
155 pounds, they're always trying to fool us. Like they think we're stupid. I saw the poster. It said for the title 12 rounds, and then they try to make it seem like it was made for 10 rounds non-title bout.
Yeah, you know, and another situation is, you know, I'm even wondering. It's like, wait a minute, who is, like, if Mayweather versus Pacquiao is to happen, who's going to promote on Mayweather's side? Mayweather Promotions is not ready to run, to put together a fight of that magnitude yet. Who is your CEO? Was Ellerby ever the real CEO? What was he, and where is he now?
I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't even heard him talk.
No, I heard he was at a recent event, but that has me thinking, okay, well, what's going to happen at this TM? What'd you say?
Well, what the fuck? Really?
I don't know what that.
What I'm doing now is I'm making it private. Somebody done fucked it up for all y'all now.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
So it's gonna still be the same way to get on though.
Oh no. It's just that and it's crazy. You know what's crazy about what I do is that somebody probably literally made that account like quickly just to be able to come on here.
Yeah, just to try to.
Yeah, just like literally, somebody was like, "Oh, let me make this account," like that, and that's crazy. That's what I'm learning about, like, as they say, being a public figure and shit. That people really be doing some off the wall shit. You should see some of the messages I get, man. That's why I be doing, comment of the day, so people like really see the shit I go through in the morning when I read my comments. I'm like I just start cracking the fuck up. If I read some of the comments to start my day, and some of the shit I be reading, I be thinking like, yo, this is really the real world. This is really the real world. Like, people off the wall.
Reading that. How much you be getting?
I got a guy who watches my video. It's this little leprechaun dude, yo. I don't know. He leaves some of the strangest comments, man. Some of the strangest comments. To myself, he got like my he's got like all my videos on CD. He got all my videos on CD though. CD. Like above his computer desk or some shit like that. And I think like, okay, wait a minute. How do I know that he's not serious? How do you really? Like CDs? I haven't like who's still. I don't even. I haven't seen a CD in God knows how long.
Nah, man, he meant
Literally,
DVD.
I haven't seen a DVD in God knows how long. Motherfuckers
He
talking about
got,
some CDs. But anyway,
he got a T-Street's
tomorrow's gonna be a
greatest
good
hits.
night. Then the next week, what do we got the week after that? We got Terrence Crawford versus Ray Beltran for some
Terrence
people.
Crawford versus Ray Beltran. That undercard could be nice too. Velez versus the Mexican Russian.
Yeah, but and then the week after that is the Rosado Lemieux fight. The week after that is Khan. Yeah, it's on and popping every week. It's on and popping every week.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm excited to see how I'm excited to see how January is going to turn out, because when it comes to January, what we'll see is we'll be able to see if Haymon boxing and the NBC sports thing is really real. You know, so I'm thinking that the first fight that's going to show us that is going to be the fight remains to Vern Deontay Wilder, because right now,
that's official, right? It's official.
Well, yeah, it's official, but there's no network.
Oh.
I never heard of nothing like that before. Like, how are you going to say a fight is official, the deal is done, but there's no network? You know, there's not even a venue. So, like I said earlier in the video, something is telling me that De La Hoya may be trying to get it. You know, maybe trying to get the fight. I'm waiting for you to fix your microphone. Who are you?
Who looks like Drake?
I don't know. Anyway, I'm thinking I'm thinking they're just waiting, you know, to see what Haymon is going to do. Everything depends on that. Yo, I don't like this smiley face.
Hey, why that smile?
Right?
Yeah, it's almost like he's up to something.
Hey,
Right?
No, I just don't like keep smiling like that.
He looks sus. He looks sus.
But you know what? I'm definitely going to listen. This is what I'm going to do. You know, I thought I did it because, see, most likely what I'm saying, the people that are in here are already in my acquaintances, so they already have it easy to get in. I'm trying to make sure these next several weeks that I got a set number of people coming in. Now, as you know, I've been a little busy being stalked and arrested and having great injustice done to me. You know, but outside of that, you know, I'm just getting back to a point where I'm actually getting back into the groove of things. Like, actually, like doing my videos, you know, the way I want and not under duress. Like, not under all this goddamn stress. You know, don't get me wrong, the stress, don't get me wrong. You know, but at the same time, you know, I had lost my groove for a little bit. And things are going to get a lot more difficult with the baby. You know, a lot more difficult. But somehow,
I don't know how you keep the schedule you do. Like, all the videos that you've been putting up the last few days, and just doing all the shit that you've been doing, I don't know where you find time to sleep. To be honest with you.
Like I said, I go to bed, you know, about 9-ish. I get up at about 4-ish, something like that.
Oh, okay.
But see, that's not saying I stay asleep. What I do is, before, I used to, like, have my phones with me, you know, and all kind of shit like that. And then, you know, every time I go to the bathroom, I would check, you know, all my stuff. Like, not anymore. So I have, you know, the only thing, you know, what I do is I got my notifications set up. So the only thing I hear is when I get a notification if somebody tries to hack my account or some shit like that.
Oh, okay.
Because, you know, they send you a notification if somebody tries to even if somebody tries to log in from some unknown place somewhere like that. You know, so gotta have. But what I do, you gotta have top of the line security, man. Top of the line.
Yeah, your YouTube and Gmail accounts, you should make those the double login ones. They're a lot safer.
All of them, yeah. You know, like
your profile, there's a lot of people who are gonna try to hack into it one way or another. So.
Oh yeah, but what happens is my phone gets called and they give me a verification code. So, you know, once I'm like, if I log out, you know, and I sign back in, then, you know, I gotta use a code, and I even got this little app on my phone called a Google Authenticator. Like, everything is crazy. Technology is crazy.
Yeah, that's the double login thing, and that's a really important thing for you to have, because the university that I work for, that's what we use what's called, you know, Google Apps for Education, which is all Gmail-based accounts, but we're or push them to double logins for everyone. Because a lot of, especially, there's a lot of accounts that get compromised. All it takes is someone out there that walks into a malware site, and next thing you know, they get taken to a fake Gmail portal. They log in their credentials, their account's stolen, just like that.
Yeah, I got it's crazy because I gotta boot people like that. What I'll do is, so like every now and then I'll get like something, and then I click on it, and then it'll be like this bootleg looking site asking me to put my shit in. So if you're computer savvy and you should know what to look for, but still, like if anybody has YouTube or anything like that, especially social media, you got to make sure you have all the locks that you could possibly have on there.
Exactly, and that's so many people fail at it. There's so many people that don't know nothing about when it comes to internet security. I got mine. My system is bulletproof, and I have IT background, so it's not hard for me. But there's a lot of people, they use their computers to turn it on, log into Facebook, log into this or that. They don't really know, basically, they don't know enough about security or what steps to take.
Yeah.
But all the information is out there for them. It's a Google search away. Just be careful which Google link you click on from the search results, because you might end up going to a malware site. That just comes with experience. But I wish there was more people that would, consider it, because there's a lot of computers and a lot of people I got to fix every day that do something bad, and I have to go in there and undo the damage they done. So.
You know what? I gotta be honest. Tomorrow, I've watched Jesse Vargas fights, but it'll be the first one I'm going to be covering, partly because of Roy Jones, but I don't see him as being that good.
Nah, they say that he's a potential Pacquiao opponent, but I mean, I don't.
And I know why that is because they're running out of people for Pacquiao to fight. Simple as that.
Basically, I mean, they got on Vargas. I don't even think Mikey Garcia's gonna continue with Top Rank.
Well, at this point in time, he said he's got a fight coming up, if I'm correct.
But then he trolled and fucking said February 31st. And then from after that, I didn't even see what else he said.
Ain't no February 31st. Fucking world.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing. He fucking trolled. He tweeted, I finally have a fight. And then he's like, date is coming up soon. And then after that, he tweeted February 31st. And then I'm just thinking, there's no February 31st.
Don't play with us like that. Fuck you. That's how you gotta be.
That's what I was thinking.
That's how you gotta be with these boxers, man. Like a guy like Chavez Jr. Like I'm so sick of him, man. I'm so sick of him.
Bob Arum should have replied to Mickey Garcia. Yep, on February 31st. That's when you're gonna get paid. Also next.
Yeah, Mike Garcia's career is he had the flame behind him, and now I can understand he's got a dispute with his contract. But it's like, my God, like, you're just not going to fight, period? Like, you're just going to hold everybody hostage?
So how many times you fought? Once?
Just like Andre Ward, he gave up on boxing. WBA is like, well, we're not going to strip him. Let's just say Carl Froch is the champ. Like, they just upgraded Carl Froch. Well, I know what I'm going to do.
Hey, do y'all think Shannon Briggs should get a fight with Klitschko?
Brian Jennings is next.
Hell no.
Do I think he should? See, no.
Fight him.
Because I'll be a hypocrite if I'm saying, fighters that you got to look at it like this. You might as well say Shannon Briggs is like Rod Soka.
Hey, Rod Soka CBE.
It's like who did you fight? You didn't fight nobody. You know what? But while I take a little break, I'm gonna put on a classic interview. I hope it plays. But listen, I just don't think Shannon Briggs hasn't done nothing when he's fighting in like venues with like 100 people in them, and then you're showing up to Klitschko fights. It's like, okay, all right, who is paying for all of this?
Anything about that?
Well, here, watch this.
About the numbers, I just know what I can do. Okay. Let's say I doubt it seriously. You take into the ring a lot of rage.
Does that work for you, or does it work against you at times?
You know, who cares? We're in a fight anyway. What does it matter?
Well, for example, Rage against Vander Holyfield worked against you.
Well, it's a fight. So whatever happens, happens.
Mike, why do you have to talk like that?
Remember that shit.
I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
I actually did watch it.
Turn off your station.
You know what? We'll end the discussion right now.
Then we could.
You got it. Have a nice fight, Mike.
Off.
Hey,
Yo, he didn't say, I go get some more pineapple soda. Yo, he didn't say turn off your channel. He said, well, turn off your station. Go turn off the whole station, Mike. He's sitting there, he looking so mad. He's just sitting there like, why would his manager allow him to go on an interview like that?
I don't know what was with him.
They're like scared as shit, like why would you allow him to go on an interview like that? You doing some fuck off. You on national television. Dude, like, why would you? I gotta run that back.
Francois Volta, 61 underdog. Are there any concerns in your part?
I don't know anything about that. I don't know nothing about the numbers. I just know what I can do.
How about this, mother? Okay. How about 19 months fall?
What about it? Does
it pose any problem to you?
We'll see. I doubt it's Christian.
You take into the ring a lot of rage. Does that work for you, or does it work against you at times?
You know, who cares? We're in a fight anyway. What does it matter?
Well, Rage against Vander Holyfield worked against you.
Well, it's a fight. So whatever happens, happens.
Mike, why do you have to talk like that?
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. If you have a problem, turn off your station.
You know what? I think we'll end the discussion right now.
Then we could.
You got it. Have a nice fight, Mike.
It was crazy because he said he was like, you know, he's like, I don't know nothing about no numbers. I don't know nothing about that. He's like, yo, then you wonder about people robbing you. You going out there beating people up. You don't know that. You don't care about the numbers. You know, and it's crazy because now we got boxers saying you don't really care about the numbers. You know, we need guys like Mike Tyson back in the sport that say, fuck it, I don't care if you rob me or not. I'm going to fight the best. Of course I'm joking. We don't need any more dirty promoters in the sport. We need to make sure the fighters get paid, especially when you got getting beat half to death out there, you know.
That's why we got Al Haymon, man. He get these people paid.
Tyson took things so personal. Like, he was almost like if they asked him a question that wasn't even a tough question, but something he didn't want to answer, he'd get right defensive, right off the bat.
Well, he had to go back into his bag like last month when, you know, he called the
Yeah, with that Canadian interviewer. Yeah, I saw that.
I'm going to play that. You know, he had no business. Dude was out of pocket, though. He had no business.
That shit was funny.
He had no business, man. That dude was out of control.
He wouldn't play that
dumbass shit.
He wouldn't got shit with the old Mike.
I'm playing it now. Tell you technology.
You think, oh my, trying to fight him.
Hey, yo, y'all hear me, man?
What the hell?
Hey,
Yeah.
Y'all hear me, man? Yo.
There we go.
He joined us right now.
Y'all hear me out there, man? Guys?
Yeah.
Promoter Alex, thanks for joining us, both of you. I'll start with yourself. Many are wondering how did that happen, this meeting with the mayor? I have no idea. It's my phone again.
Yo.
From Canada, and
Yo, you can hear me? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, yo, I can hear you.
All right.
And he's a really dynamic character. Russell, say, this race for mayor. And today talking about his life, Isaac Rose. So let's say you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, you think about it? That's not wrong with people. Fuck you. That's a piece of shit. Ron, we're doing my TV. I don't care. What you gonna do about it? All right, you gotta show me tonight. We are. This is raw, and it's the real. It's the truth. You get to see your show. Just tell us about it.
Why? See, honestly, and that's one of the reasons why you can't be a bald black man with no facial hair and expect to be trusted. Like you got this black dude up in Canadian, Mike Tyson, of all people, some shit like that to his face. He told him, like, what you gonna do about it? Like, I'm a grown man and I'm not no bitch or nothing, but it's certain people I'd be like, I look at Mike and I'd be like, nah, Mike, I'm cool. I'll be humble as shit. Because, see, he will go from 0 to 80 in like 2 seconds. He'll say, fuck everybody, fuck everything, I'm going to fuck you up. Like, you could have got fucked up easy right there. Mike Tyson don't play that shit. And he probably wanted to fuck him up after the show. We need the heavy. Oh yeah, Brian Jennings, Vladimir Klitschko. What do you think before I say what I say? It may be happening in March.
Yeah, I heard that.
Center. Brian Jennings is not ready. He's not ready. The defense is not solid. He's going to eat a lot of right hands. Oh man. I need to see one more fight from him. He took too many punches from Mike Perez. So I need to see at least one more fight from him, before he went right to Klitschko. But I can see what Klitschko's plan is. Klitschko, he wants to eliminate him as a WBC contender. He wants to make sure he gets rid of him so that he can have that clear shot at the winner of Max Kellerman versus Wilder, because he wants his brother's belt. He wants his brother's belt back.
Yeah.
Now, I said before that I don't see I don't see Wilder or Haymon allowing Wilder to fight Klitschko immediately after he wins the title. I don't see it. I see if Wilder defeats Severn, Wilder going on a path of having like 3 title defenses against probably 3 people that are mandatory, just like Klitschko do. Now, we don't even know. And then a somewhat semi-big fight. Something like that. I just don't see it. I have no faith. But you know what? We're going to wrap it up soon, so I guess we're going to say this is the final thoughts, because honestly, I got to get to bed. Getting tired.
Hey, man, that dude Travis trying to say
I got a
something.
movie to watch.
Travis?
Yeah, he keep trying to talk, but his mic low.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hold on, man. I'm probably too far for that shit.
Oh, shit, there's a lot of people in the fucking chat.
Yo.
Yeah, I can hear you. I hear you.
Oh, all right.
A lot of people in the chat. Now, you had a question. What was you saying?
Shit, go ahead, though, man. That shit I've been yelling so long. Hey, but what you
no, listen. I'm about to go, I'm on here tomorrow night after the fight. I wish I can drink, but tomorrow night I gotta definitely make sure everything cool. I got all my shit I rewired all my shit. I don't got no fire hazards or nothing. I'm good.
Oh, hey T, you like Wilder over Severn?
Wilder over Severn? Yeah, I like Wilder over Severn. Unless he get too close. I look at it like this: Wilder can beat Severn from a distance. If he get too close, that's when he can get cracked.
I think if Wilder does get cracked, he gets cracked out.
What'd you say?
I said I think if Wilder does get cracked by Severn, I think Wilder's going to get knocked out. I'm not sold on his chin.
Oh yeah, I'm not sold on it either. I'm not sold on it. Period. And that's why I think this is the time when we're going to see what kind of boxer he really is. Like if he's just a guy that's going to go out there and run through you, or if he's just a guy, or if he's a guy that's going to go out there and actually show us some boxing ability. Because remember, he's got no rounds under his belt.
Exactly.
You know, we don't know how he looks after round 6 at all.
Them skills fall off.
I think Stavern's gonna win that fight. I think it's a good fight though. I don't think Wilder hasn't really beaten anybody. I mean,
Go lose, man. He's fighting them chumps, man.
Yeah, I mean, none of them. I mean, if you look at his last fight, for crying out loud, Jason Gavin.
With them heavyweights, where you gonna punch it, where you gotta you got that hand, where you know what I'm saying. That's that real punch chance in that heavyweight.
Yeah, but look at what happened with Malik Scott. That was suspect.
Yeah, big
whether
time.
he won the fight or whether it was thrown or not, you know, it was suspect. You know, so it's hard for me to believe that Deontay Wilder has earned the right to be a champion. Because you have to look at who has he gone through. Malik Scott, and look how that went down. His last fight was Jason Gavin. And remember, though, Gavin was trying to fight. He was actually trying to throw some hands out there. You know, he quit on his stool. But, you know, I'm not sold on Deontay Wilder, and partly the reason is because of his advisor. Because even if he does beat Stavern, I don't expect him to go out there and be fighting the best. You know, because that's what we've seen from him. But, you know, it's 10:30, so what I'm going to do is, listen, I'm going to be here tomorrow night. You know, I got Pacquiao, of course. I got a full day of boxing tomorrow. My first video is going to actually be about 14 hours from now. Then, you know, I'm going to have like 10 videos tomorrow, then Google Hangout. But as it stands right now, you know, I'm going to go to bed. TstreeT Controversy.
All right. Later, bro. See you tomorrow. Have a good one, you guys.
Look after the fight.